Good evening, everyone. Ellen Sutter, the ESP Presents and ESP Book Chats, where we bring page turners your way. Tonight, our guest is JAHZARA, and she is the author of our wonderful book that we're going to talk about now. And you can come on out. Good evening, everyone. Ellen you can Sutter, come on out. And I am so sorry. Can you hear me?
Hi, yes, I can.
Yes. I was making sure that I hear you. And she is the author of She Never Forgot, She Never Forgave. And you know, I love this Margot story. You said it spawned off from another book. And we're going to talk about her tonight. We're going to talk about her character, who she was before, Allison Tate. And we'll just get on to it. So give us the backdrop of your story, why you penned this book, and we're going to get right into it.
Awesome. So last time I was here, we were talking about chaotic bliss, and Ellen, I know that you were interested in Margot, and I was telling you that Margot was part of the My Love Won't Last Forever series. She had been in Matrimony, which was book one in the series, and Chaotic Bliss, the book that we were discussing. And so both of those books had been rewritten and republished. And so Margot's story in Matrimony had gone onto my cut floor, meaning that I had cut her story, the details out of Matrimony in the republication of it. And so I was saving it for another time. And so I just thought it'd be great to let Margot have her own story, and so I put it in the ebook, and that's how we got to Margot. And so I think a lot of people will look at the story and they might think it's a revenge story or that she's bitter. But no, this is a story, and I hope my readers can get with this. But this is a story about somebody who had memories, who had boundaries, and calculated strength. And a lot of times when people saw Margot in Matrimony, they thought, oh, she's so uppity. She's so bitter. Why is she like that towards her daughter? Yada, yada, yada. But I dare say, knowing Margot's story from She Never Forgave, She Never Forgot, she never forgot, she never forgave. Excuse me, I just twisted that up.
That's
But
okay.
I dare say, if you look at knowing her backstory, you'd say, huh, I had Margot all wrong. She kind of foreshadows some things if you really look at what she was saying and what she was doing in those books. She's not operating from a place of bitterness. She's operating from a place, I know how this movie goes. I know how this song is. And so I think that's the beauty of Margot. And
I am glad you took her off the cut floor, as you said, because when I seen her, I see her as you saw her from your pen to the paper. And I didn't know her at all. I just knew a glimpse of her from what I was reading. And I do quite a few shows. I definitely am waiting, got my finger on it to go back to finish it and with doing all these shows and stuff. And so when I saw her, the all that portion, I think I probably have about 5 chapters left, really to really talk about it and where I got her from. And when I saw her as Dr. Allison Tate. I didn't
mhm.
see her as Margot. Let's talk about Margot as Dr. Allison Tate as I saw her, and then the story you took from the cut, as you say, as Margot Shaw. But let's start with Dr. Tate.
Okay. Without really giving away her story, here's a woman. Hmm. She's had so many issues before she even becomes Dr. Tate in life. And she's had so many disappointments. And I think when we see Dr. Tate on trial in Tallahassee,
Mm.
here's a woman who said, I've been the victim long enough. I tried to play by the rules. I tried to play nice. I really did. Um, and when we see her there, she's like at that point where you hear people say, when is enough enough?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we see where her enough has become enough.
Yeah. And when I saw her in a book where you had, well, let me reset first because I see that there, well, it says 25 on there. So hello to you, 25. I'm resetting, and we have our guest to here, JAHZARA. And we're talking about her book, as she said, for those who do replay, that was on the cut, and I want her to bring the story back up. And so if you guys have any questions or anything, do type it in the queue. I'll call it the queue. And thank you guys for being here. And so we're going to get back into it. When the book opens up or the story opens up, this is on ebook only, correct?
Yes, ebook only.
And I put this on my top 10 for Amazon. I think I had it up there at 7, 8 or 7, or it was pretty high on my list, Margot's story, and gotten a lot of attention. And so with her, I see in the story very classic type. When you open it, I could just feel it. And it was more like it opens up where you have during the diaspora era, Jim Crow era, where you have blacks and they really feel free when there's music because you're more respected if you're black, if you can play an instrument or anything like that, that your color just goes away. And so when I seen it open up, when you see Margot and you see her husband in there. And Edwin, I think I say his name is Edwin. When you
Yeah,
see him in there and they're at the table, a very classic moment, and it opens up like an upscale type beat, and you see that you got these people, like you mentioned, on the other side, and I'm trying not to give it away, where you can see blacks not only are there in that Jim Crow era, but they have some style and some prestigious things about themselves. Why was it so important for you to go to the other side that we can see even during the Jim Crow era that we still have class, we still can be valuable to society? Why was that so important?
it because of the culture. I think that is very important to represent culture and for those who are coming up in this era to know we as African Americans have standards, we have values, we've always been trendsetters, in my opinion. And
Mm-hmm.
just to see that, now don't get me wrong, I love, and people laugh when I say this, but I love some ratchet TV and all of that kind of stuff. I love that. But that is not the only thing our
Yes.
culture needs to be associated with.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed people to see Margot as being classy because now Margot can get down and be
Yeah,
right
she can get down.
when she needs to. But there are people who can navigate such that it doesn't seem that way. And so I think that adds to another dynamic of Margot. You wouldn't expect her to move as she has moved, but can she can navigate in circles. And I think that's where people underestimate her. And
Mm-hmm.
that gives her
Mm-hmm.
a leg up. And I love that from Margot.
That was beautiful. I said, "Ooh, look at that." And so we have, like I said, Edwin and Marco Shaw sitting at the table. He had a little bit of annoyance toward her,
Yeah.
but at the same time, she know how to point her finger and say, let me shine. Why was it so important for you to see her, who she was, regardless of this prestigious stuff that they go on? Because you often talk in this book that Edwin, he is a very breathtaking, handsome man. And if when they read her story, they'll see there were men before this, before she got to this breathtaking, handsome man. So Margot and Edwin, what was, you know, that chemistry that they have and those different annoyances that she have, that he see that, in her.
Yeah. I think it's important. And Edwin's backstory, I also cut and put it on the cut floor. But Edwin has not always had money. And so
Mm.
Edwin came from, and when I say very humble beginnings, his mother, that he calls his mother Miss Lula, is not his biological mother. And so she took him in. And so they had very humble beginnings. And Edwin is like, yeah, I have money. We have money. But, you know, he's more down to earth, but he has to check Margot because she can get, you know, a little beside herself. But the other thing is, Edwin hasn't seen how far Marco can go. So while he's annoyed with this little bit, it's kind of like I have her doing introspection to say, if you only know, yeah, I'm going to play nice to a point. But again, when I was in Tallahassee, that's when I decided enough was enough. And so nobody else will ever go to that point where
Mhm.
I have to get my hands dirty. But, you know, it's kind of like, sir, if you only knew, you might stop right here. And so I like the
Wow.
dynamics between them. And he's, you know, more laid back, but he has to get in there sometimes and say, hey, you might be going a little too far. And she's thinking the whole time, I probably haven't gone as far as I could go.
I love that. Now you said Edwin, his mother is Lula.
Miss Lula.
Now is that the same Lula that's in the book
That is the
prior?
that
So
is
he goes back that far, but we did we do we I don't think we mention him in that book, right? We don't, do we?
we don't really mention Edwin too much. Now in Chaotic Bliss, you know, Edwin passes away in Chaotic Bliss.
Why did you tell
Oh,
me that?
oh.
Told you I'm not that far.
I'm so sorry. I forgot. I'm so sorry. But yeah, we do see him in, you don't see him as a main character, but you hear a lot about him in Chaotic Bliss. You don't get to see him up close and personal. You see Margot
Mm-hmm.
throughout the series more than you'll see Edwin, but his presence is definitely important and made known.
Mm. So in the first book, Chaotic Bliss, that we read, we see Margot as Dr. Tate, right? She becomes Margot in her own book, or at some point in the book, mind you, I haven't completed. She becomes Margot in that same book, or she Margot standalone in the other book, matrimony book.
So throughout the series, she's always Margot.
Mm-hmm.
She's always Margot Shaw. In Matrimony, book one of the series, you will find out that she's been Dr. Tate in Tallahassee.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what leads up to her and Edwin getting a divorce, he finds out some of the things. He finds out the things that we now know in the ebook. He finds out those things in Matrimony. It's just that we don't dig that deep into it. We kind of gloss
Wow.
over it a little bit.
Girl, you know you're a writer that can weave a writing pen. Let's see. Hello to you guys in there, just resetting again. And I don't know if I'm moving or something. We're on a delay in there, but thank you guys for being here. Do replay, swipe and share. I don't see any questions or anything out there. I do see that says 25. I don't know if you see it from your end.
I am not able to see it on my screen. It's
Oh, okay.
confusing.
I
But
can see
hi,
it.
everybody.
Yes, I can see it. Okay. Hello to everyone, as she said. I didn't see too much of Margot's dad, but I know that he wished her well. He was very ill with a lot of her low self-esteem came from her dad. What was his story? Do we have his story? And why is he uh, so mean to her?
We don't have, I did not dig into his story. So we don't have a lot of his story. He you know when somebody does wrong and they get called out on the carpet about their wrong?
Mm-hmm.
That is him. Margot's money for college, he took and he used for his own selfish gains. And when it's time for her to go to college, she calls him out on it. And instead of him owning up to, and I guess that's not something anybody would want to own up to, but instead of him saying, you know, I messed up, he's on the offense and he's going to tear her down and make her the, you know, problem when he's actually the problem. But the one thing I do like about Margot, and you'll see this in Matrimony, this is how she gets really caught up because of her dad.
Mm.
She's paying for him to be in a nursing home. And in spite of,
Wait, so we will see this in Matrimony, what you're talking about now?
yes, this is
Matrimony book 3,
book one.
book 1. Is that the one I have? Or that's not the one I have?
No, you have chaotic bliss. You don't have book
You're
one.
going to have to put that book link in there so I know, because I need to catch up. I'm like,
Yeah, you have book two, but in book one, Matrimony, Margot gets caught up. Her life falls apart because she's funding her dad's nursing home and everything. And remember, she had been
yeah,
the,
we know about her life, what she's been doing to get
yeah.
that far. Yeah.
And so
So
years
y'all
later,
gonna have to read it. Don't that we know about it because we read it. Y'all just gonna have to read it.
yeah. And so her kindness to her father is what really ruins her marriage. Because had she not been taking care of her father, none of these things come to light. Her father tells the story, not knowing that he's telling the story because he's elderly.
Oh
And
my goodness. So wait a minute. When did she do we get to see when she have a heart for her father to take care of him, or is because he's her father that she's taking care of him? Because mind you, he was treating her bad.
correct. No, I never give you
We're
a
gonna need some prequels. We're gonna need some prequels of things. We don't get me started. Last I had you to bring Margot out, but we need some prequel. We need some prequels of stuff if you got it in you. Oh my goodness. Let me see. Honey, our time is running fast, but we still got a little bit more. Um, you guys are just gonna have to read it for yourself, but this is so good. Um, I don't want to go all into it. I want them to read it, but I do want to talk a little bit about James and Felicia, just
Yes,
a
yes.
snippet of them, because that court scene was really something else. Did you have some kind of um, knowledge of court scenes? Because that court scene was on point. I felt
Thank
like I was in the room. I felt like I was I wanted Felicia to get what she got, but Felicia was just digging, and Margot handled herself well. Tell us about James and Felicia.
Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about the court scene and come back to James and Felicia.
Okay.
I think maybe a fun fact about me that a lot of people don't know is that I have my undergraduate BA is in criminal justice, so I have a love for crime, and
Oh, that explains. Okay.
so I have a love for criminal justice, but I never really went into the criminal justice field. I when I started working, I went into social work. My thing was after getting the criminal justice degree to help keep people in my community out of the criminal justice system. And so I'd rather meet you before you got in the criminal justice system
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to in the criminal justice system. So I did a lot of therapy, individual, family, and group therapy. And then I went on to get my master's in education because, again, I wanted to help empower the community and educate them and, catch them before things would happen for them to get into the criminal justice system. But I it's gonna sound weird, but I love crime and criminal justice. I really do.
And you really showed it in your writing in Margot's book. You
Thank
really
you.
did. You did a
And
good job.
my sister is an attorney, so I am the office manager for her law office. So every now and then I get to, tap into or feed my criminal thirst or hunger by being around with the case.
Wow. And it shows. Wow.
Yes, thank you. So that is where I drew on the crimes, not the crime scene, but the scene, the court scene. Now James and Felicia are an interesting thing that sets us up for why Felicia, prosecuting attorney, is on Margot's case so badly.
Mm-hmm.
This goes back to high school, and I used to teach high school, and I would tell those kids, be careful how you treat your peers, because you don't know when you're going to see them later on in life, what position you're going to see them in. Be careful. So James Felicia is a woman scorned, and she wants to
Mm-hmm.
score. And so when she has an opportunity to see Margot again, what happened in high school, even though at this point has been over 10 years ago, you think, okay, high school, we're on another level, but some things never heal quite like they need to heal despite time or whatever. And so that is the fuel that Felicia is operating with. Um, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Now I want to talk about this time is shooing. It is. You're gonna have to come back for the other story as well. So Malachi, we talked about that. I don't want to give it away. Malachi Chandler. And without giving it all away, what is it, without giving it all away, as I say,
Mhm.
as to why or what is the significance of Margot's anger towards Malachi without giving it all away. I know that's a
That's
hard one.
awesome because Margot, you also have to remember that she's been dubbed the love doctor. And so she knows a lot about relationships because of her work and her counseling. And so she has seen Malachi several times. Malachi is not just her son in law, but Malachi is a character that she's seen in her life prior to meeting him. And so that is the issue there. Um, this man's name could have been John or anything. It doesn't matter. She's seen this type. She knows how he operates, and she's not fooled by the gift of gab. She's not fooled by the charm because look at her. Look at how she
Mm-hmm.
has
Mm-hmm.
navigated. So they, as much as she doesn't like Malachi, they kind of are the same type of people.
I was thinking that. Mm.
She, so it's like, yeah, guy, you're standing up here, Malachi's finances have changed and all of that. Okay, her finances have changed too because she hasn't always been in society with money. So she's like, I know you. I know where you come from. I know how you operate. I see you. Everybody else is tainted by, because Malachi is a good looking guy,
Mm-hmm.
so they can't see past your good looks, or he's got the gift of gab, he can lay it. She's like, nah, buddy boy, I see you and I know what you're capable of, and I know that from here, from jump, and I'm trying to make people aware, but they are thinking, she's just so uppity, she just thinks she's so much better than everybody. And she's like, no, I know this guy because I'm almost a female version of him.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
that's what it is. And so she tries to let her daughter know in matrimony. This not him, but nobody will listen to her. They dismiss her. And so when you see how things navigate in that My Love Won't Last Forever series, if my readers ever decide to go back, they'll be like, yeah, she tried to tell you.
I love it. Love it. Guess what? That's our time.
Thank you.
That is our time. Thank you so much for being here. We otherwise I can't not give it away. That's why we do snippets. That's why we do things like this. The 25 of that are there, that's not in the queue. I'm sorry that you can't see it from your end. If you go to the YouTube, you'll see it says live. And I'm not sure if you could see that, but that you could also see the replay of there. And this has been great. I did not want to give it all away. It was hard for me to, well, not hard, very challenging during these times, especially if I've read it and I read the whole story, and to give it away after you read the whole story, I was like, I can't go no further than that because I'm gonna be getting all up and stuff. You're an excellent writer. I really enjoy your work, and definitely I am a fan of your work. And I seen it, I say, wow, this is really good. Especially I seen you. Let me ask you this before we go. The book that I have, you say that's book two.
That is book two.
So if that's book two and Margaret's in there, and I'd be gentle with this question because I haven't read I read this one, but not all the way. And what I'm getting at is with Margot, the maturity in writing is definitely there. I'm not saying it was none there in the book that I'm reading, but I see the maturity and the growth and just all of the writing right there. I said, my goodness, she's such a great writer. I didn't know you from there to here. You know, see what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
caught you at Margot and I said, this is a great writer.
Thank you.
What do you have to say about that? And I hope that wasn't a, an off question, but I see that development there.
The book that you have, Chaotic Bliss, was written in 2012, 2013. I went back in 2025 and just kind of, I like to say, oh, it just left my mind. Do you eat Popeye's chicken?
Yes.
You know the sprinkles, Cajun sparkle, I think is what it's called. So
Okay.
that's what I tried to do with Chaotic Bliss on the republish. Go back and just add a little Cajun sparkle to it, but not take
Mm-hmm.
from the 2012 story.
Oh, wow.
But Margot, I sat down in December 2025. I went to the cut floor and grabbed those things that were on the cut floor and then started writing and
Oh,
putting her together. So you see two different eras of my writing.
wow.
Yeah. So
Excellent.
Margot is, 2020's version. Chaotic Bliss, excuse me, is the 20 teens version of my writing.
Wow.
Yeah. So you see over a decade difference of
Excellent.
writing but between those bodies of work. And I'm
Wow.
so glad that you liked Margot.
I
I try
love her. I had
I
to bring her with me. I had to bring her with me to my top 20. I
I
loved her.
I tried to go into her story and I could have kept going. And I said, well, at some point, you got to cut it off because I knew when I was writing it, it was just going to be a short story. I didn't want to walk you all through, the divorce or whatever. And so in this short story, really, everything is happening at the dinner table. This is, they're at the dinner table. And so it was really my first time ever really. And my literary mentor hates flashbacks, but I think I played around with time pretty good in this. In this,
Yes.
I took you through a couple different decades back and forth.
Yes. It was so
And,
good. So it's so
it,
good. If you guys out there, I'm gonna mention that you guys out there, you will love that. And I really like that, especially that's why I love newly published and it's your baby and when you put things out there, I just had to take a moment and just to talk about that. This is going to bring us at 7:30, which is 20 to 30 minutes as I go to. And I want to see that, and you know that I'm going to start writing. I start writing my story in my head, and I was just about to put it on the paper, and as I was just about to put it on the paper, more and more kept coming real quick to
yeah,
about the story. And it's about, I told you my story about me being in the home with my mom and just writing those stories. And you got a fiction story, not nonfiction. Your stories are nonfiction and not fiction. Which ones?
so I do a lot of fiction, and then I do have some nonfiction books as well.
Oh, really? How many
Yeah.
books do you have before you go?
So Margot just added Margot in. I believe she makes book 10.
You have 10 books, girl? I have to go way back. You need to start posting on this when I do my thank you. Start posting. I would like to go back and see because I really enjoyed it. I see. Did you have children's books too?
I do not have children's
So
books.
somebody else is has a Nicole Bradley. Someone Nicole Bradley. I was looking at, and then I look up JAHZARA, and I was able to see them. But this has been a great talk, and I really love your style of writing. Marco showed me the crip of the crumb or whatever I'm trying to say. The crip. It was just good. Mwah. It was
you.
just so tasteful to bring her up to my top 20. And those of you that are out there that listen to this or do the replay, do go and read Margot's story and read the other stories of that she have, JAHZARA have, Nicole Bradley have. Very great writer. I enjoy your work. Where can they meet you at? What you got coming up and what's going on?
Awesome. So, Ellen, I'm excited because I'm going to be back here with you on Thursday. And
Yes.
we're going to be talking about My Love Won't Last Forever, His Wife, which is book 3 in the series. And we'll be talking about Nairi and Malachi again. And we will be talking about Ivan, a newcomer. And Ellen, I will have to email you some juicy details that we're going to talk about regarding that. And then, those of you who are watching, you got to come back Thursday to know about the juicy details, because some of you might think that I was petty for writing this book, but I'm not going to go too far off the rails on that. But Ellen and I will definitely be discussing that. So I'm on Facebook, Ms. Nicole R. Bradley. I'm on TikTok, Literary JAHZARA. I'm on Instagram, but I'm mostly on Facebook. But I do have Instagram and TikTok. My daughter is probably gonna kill me for not knowing these handles, but
That's all right. We'll find you.
yeah,
What's the word we can look up? Just say Nicole or JAHZARA.
if you're looking for my writings, JAHZARA, JAHZARA. And pretty much I come up JAHZARA Bradley. If you even my characters trend, Malachi Chandler, Nairi Chandler, they trend Gia Black, Ivan Merrick. So if you look them up, they're trending as well. So you'll be able to find me. But I'm so excited and thank you for this
You are
opportunity.
so welcome. One more thing. So the names of your characters, are we able as the public to go in and let's say if we read that particular person's chapter, can we go in as an open public type in there, or is it certain people can only post?
So yeah, you can friend them on Facebook. They're on Facebook. Nairi Chandler is Ivan Merrick, Infinity Washington, Taboo Henderson. Those are the only characters. Malachi
Okay.
did have a Facebook page, but I'm sorry, you guys. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did with Malachi's password. I'll have to figure that one out. So
You think Margot got him?
Margot doesn't have a page,
You
but
think Margot stopped him? You know she don't like him.
yeah, she probably did. Margot probably, is the one that went in my computer and
I'm trying to give you a way out. That's we can do that.
and erased him. So Malachi is up there, but he definitely will not respond to you because yeah, he can't remember his password.
This
You
has
know,
been great, and we'll see you back again. So that the other one, I just have the synopsis of it, the book that's coming up. I don't have the book, but I probably try to get it before then. If not, I'm definitely going to get it.
yes, and I'm definitely going to be reaching out to you to discuss a little bit about his wife. Very interesting. Very interesting. So you guys
Uh,
have to come back on Thursday to find out what Ellen is going to find out about that book.
so do we have it on as an ebook?
It is not an ebook, but
That's
Ellen,
what I was trying to look at it on an ebook. I can get it faster that way. My bookshelf is really full.
it will be an ebook next month. I am in the process of revamping it, and it will only be revamped in ebook. So next month, not next month. I already put us in March, April 2026.
Oh, I have to
It will
wait. Okay, I
be
have to wait then. Well, I'm
yeah,
gonna have to get some. You talk to me, and then we talk about that, and I'm gonna have to get something too, because all I have is that. So ebook, ebook. My
yes.
husband is sick of me. Yeah. Well, this has been great. You have an amazing night, and we'll see you on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Those who were here, thank you for being here. It says it was 25 on here. I didn't see anything in the feed unless I needed to revamp. If you wanted to make a comment or anything, you can only do it live at this time. Once it is not live, you won't be able to do a response. So, I mean, you could do afterwards, but not after this, during this moment to have that live chat. You have an amazing night. Thank you. And this has been
So
great. Replay would already, if you go to YouTube, you already see it ready. And have an amazing day.
have an amazing day. Thank you all. Thank you,
You're
everybody,
welcome.
for showing up. Good night.
Good night. Good night. Thank you guys for being here again. Ellen Sutter of ESP Presents and ESP Book Chats, where we bring page turners your way, guys. Our guest is JAHZARA, and we had a wonderful time with her. This has been great. If you are wanting to have a show with me, again, this is our Scout Out Shout Out. It's only 20 to 30 minutes. It is not the full show. If you guys are looking for the full show, do inbox me at ESP Presents, and you could do it on my Facebook page, Instagram, and also, as I said, I'm going to be writing my book. It's so many ways I'm having fun in my head, but it's so many ways to put this to the paper. But I thank you all for being here. I thank you for your time, and I thank you for watching. And those who watch in replay, thank you so much. You guys have an amazing day. And